So Tjerk, we're here.
We're back on the right spot where we started 2 weeks ago, the journey, Roots on Roots.
Absolutely. How has the whole experience been for you? St. Maarten, you discovered countless trails, encountered wonderful people, and of course you was with one of my good friends. Sharensi that was like your tour guide, you know. How was the experience in a nutshell has it been for you?
It was really a blast with high points and also a very sad accident, but most of all it was a great experience after my journey in Europe to make such a wonderful journey here on the island of St. Maarten, and I really experienced a lot and it was really impressive.
Yeah. What inspired you to take upon this journey? Like the St. Maarten of Tours, he was, correct me if I'm wrong, he was a Catholic priest or became eventually a Catholic priest?
First of all, he was a human. I was born in the city of Utrecht in the Netherlands, and the patron of the city is St. Maarten of Tours. And that's the reason that I went on the path of St. Maarten in Europe. I walked the path of St. Maarten just to experience what hospitality, kindness is nowadays in our world, in our lives. And so I walked for 3 months with my donkey Louis from France all the way back home to Utrecht and to the northern part. It was 3 months. And now I'm here actually on the island of St. Maarten to do such a same thing. But for me the magical thing is when I started off the journey in Europe, in the city of Tours in France, I start by singing the St. Maarten song.
Wow.
Someone of the city of Utrecht told me, you should sing the St. Maarten song for the mayor of the city of Tours in France. So at that point I didn't know anything about the island of St. Maarten, and I learned the lyrics, I learned the music, and I sing it acoustically in France, in front of the public. And for me, it was really an experience that it was from the very start that the island of St. Maarten and all things are alive here. I brought it also, even though I knew at that time, I brought it on the road in Europe, and now I experienced it here. So for me, it's also magical.
Yeah, wow. And the fact that you didn't really know about St. Maarten at that time, and someone just inspired you, and I guess you went online, you found the song, you learned the song, to sing the song at the start of your journey in France.
Right.
Wow, that's an amazing thing.
And imagine, because the mayor of France doesn't speak the English language. So I sang, where over the world, say where, there is an island there, so lovely small, with nations free, and all the French.
and what's crazy also is that because of course, you know, St. Maarten, our lovely piece of paradise in the sun, is shared by both the Netherlands and France.
Right.
So, and you started your journey in France and ended it in the Netherlands.
Right,
so
and now that all ties here.
And eventually you came here.
Right.
And of course, you know, it's inevitable in St. Maarten not to cross over into each other's paths, you know? We don't even have a border, like a physical border where you could say, you know, you have to pay a toll, or there's you know, servicemen or women there at the border point checking your documents. We just cross over and it's effortless, and it has always been like that for us, you know?
Yeah, and for me it's nice and great to stay on this border monument here on St. Maarten, because for me it's not about French or Dutch or any kind of nationality. For me it's about what's like to be a human nowadays in this world, without the borders of nationality, without the borders of language, without the borders of skin color, without the borders of anything, just passing those borders and see what the similarities are as a human, just from the roots.
The human element of it all. Correct, absolutely. Now, one of the things I want to know, when you first came, because I know you were here, of course, prior to this eventful journey with the Roots on Roots. Why the name? But I know you was checking out areas before when you first came several months ago. And of course, with the great team behind the scenes that we'll get to touch base with. Of course, they went through and they mapped out, okay, you should walk here, you should do this, you should do that. And of course, I know that you discovered a lot of trails on St. Martin.
Right.
And there possibly are trails that you didn't even get to see or touch. But one, I want to know what inspired the name, Roots on Roots.
The roots is about the very beginning of every individual, that it's really important to know where you come from. Mm-hmm. What is your family, what's your heritage, and what's the heritage of human mankind in the large scale. So really to ask people of their roots, about their roots, it's also asking yourself about your own. And that reflection from the other to yourself and in verse.
And vice versa. Yeah, I got you.
It's really essential question. Where do I come from? And of course, then the route and roots. What's your life path? Where you're going? And right. As an individual, both as a community.
Correct. What were one of the things that surprised you about the people of St. Martin that you said, oh? Because I'm pretty sure that you discovered that, like for example, in Holland, you would find that maybe your family has been in Holland, you can trace your family like grandparents, great-grandparents that started in Holland. In St. Martin, a lot of us, like my mom is from the Dominican Republic,
right.
But my dad is from Anguilla. Was that one of the things that kind of surprised you here a little bit, that it's so diverse?
It's really diverse. I like the scope of that St. Martin is a world within the world, the
Correct.
Whole world.
Correct.
And everything that happens here on a small scale, it happens in the whole world on a larger scale. And I guess we're all nomads, we're all immigrants, and here that's so on the surface. I spoke to so many people, they said my father is from that area, that my mother is from that island,
yeah.
Or all those roots are mixed, and we're just a mixed culture with so many nationalities, so many backgrounds, and it's so clear just on the surface here. So you can it's really tangible if you ask directly about somebody's roots. You're directly on. They're all over the place here, from all around.
Yeah, because a lot of people migrate to St. Martin. I must say it's only 37 square miles, but it's a dynamic 37 square miles.
It's a dynamic square miles.
And it's very diverse, and you can tell the difference between the two sides as well. The Dutch side is just, it's non-stop, it's super busy, it's all the time. The French side has its spots, but it's more on a tranquil vibe as opposed to the Dutch side. And of course, the Dutch side, we have a little more of the nightlife, of this and that. On the French side, it's really more of an island vibe. When the night comes, people are really on a chill. You don't find too much going on in the nighttime outside of restaurants, of course. And that is what makes this place so unique.
Yeah, and above that, I experienced so much openness and good vibes. And positive vibes. A lot of people are really open.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't. The project is not, and personally, I'm not focused on differences. But in Europe, it's more. I can say it's a little bit negative, maybe, but it's more individual and more closeted in. Yeah. And here, our people are more out in the open and more on the surface. So you can make the connection quite fast.
Yeah. Well, our nickname is the Friendly Island.
It is.
How was it for you on that regard? Did you receive the friendliness? Were you welcomed? Because I've been seeing some of the snippets, of course, behind the scenes, and you engaged. With some of the individuals I saw, they greeted you with huge smiles.
Yeah, and especially when you walk with a donkey. I was here in Philipsburg and I met Hector and Ezekiel.
Yeah.
I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but
Ezekiel. Yeah, Ezekiel.
And they come to me and said, hey, who are you? What are you doing here? And it was a kind of open flow from them to me.
Yeah.
And then it goes vice versa. And that's really touches me.
Yeah, absolutely. What is next?
What's next? The project Roots on Roots is about creating connection, to see what's out there, what kind of similarities we can find on different kind of layers. And to make the connection to the people here on both sides of the island. Of course, it's one island, but also make the connection back to Europe and vice versa.
Yeah.
To bring the story to Europe. And of course, first of all, we have here the performance coming Saturday, where we will feature the first experiences in a cultural program, a community art program. But I hope it will bring us much further than we think at this point here in the project.
In time.
And
right?
I think we will.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to the next stop on your journey. I think it's very inspiring what you have set out to do based on the inspiration that you received from St. Maarten of Tours. And as you said, you want to discover if in this day and age that bit of humanity still lies out there, that bit of, warmness and people to be good Samaritans in essence. And we see it's still out there. It is still very much out there.
It is, and the creating awareness is so important. People being aware about their roots, being aware about their life path, and the educational part of this project is also really relevant to bring it also to young people, that they have more awareness about their history, about themselves, so that they can walk their path more clearly, hopefully, than I did earlier in my life.
And that is the mission, to pay it forward.
For me personally, that's really a thing, to benefit to something beautiful, benefit to something more hopeful, because that's the only path we have to walk, I guess, in life.
Yeah.
If we from the perspective of a larger scale.
Absolutely.
And a daily scale.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Tjerk, this has been one amazing journey. I want to thank you so much for inspiring the world, because I think it's very inspirational and it's very courageous of you to embark on such a journey just to see what's out there, an experience, a human experience.
Thank you very much for your kind words, but I want to say in return that I'm really grateful of all the happiness, kindness, hospitality I encountered here with you, with Sharensley, but also with the team, and of course the people here from St. Maarten. It's hopeful. It gives me hope, and that's a good thing to bring further.
Absolutely.
So thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roots on Roots.